we are mildly interesting guys, and we talk about some stuff. So welcome to the podcast, we call it Joel the Podcast. It's Alex and it's Alex, here for Joel the Podcast. Hello everybody, I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
And this is our podcast,
Joel.
Welcome to episode 42. Let me just start off by going on a brief rant about the number 42. All the time I hear people say that 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, which is a reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. However, if anyone has ever read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they would know that 42 is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. It is not the answer to life, the universe, and everything themselves. So now that I have a platform to say that, I can now say it. So
These are the benefits of being famous on the internet, is we can clarify all of the tiny inaccuracies that pervade pop culture.
Exactly.
And since everyone listens to us and trusts us to be the source of truth,
right?
I expect that's just going to end now.
Yeah, if I ever hear anyone say it again, I might have to kill them because they obviously don't listen to our podcast.
And that's what we do if you don't listen to our podcast.
Exactly.
Just now learning.
I mean, you've been doing it this whole time, right? Nathan, I may need to kill you. All right. Welcome to episode 42, everyone. Or should I say episode 1 of the post-Great Idea era, since I think we really entered a new era after our literal best idea ever last episode.
Oh, man. This is now season 2 of Joel the Podcast. You can expect in 41 more episodes, we're going to have a new greatest idea ever to wrap up this season.
There's no break in time or like quality or topic or anything. It's just randomly now a new season.
Yep.
So welcome to season 2, episode 1 of Joel the Podcast, everybody. And I wanted to start off by announcing that neither of us owes the other $1.
I still disagree with that.
And there's no disagreement between us about that.
Except for the disagreement that there is.
Sports, the NFL draft is starting on Thursday, so soon, but nothing sports-wise has happened in the last week, really, of note, so that's it. And yeah, so I guess maybe we may as well just, wow, it's fastest intro ever. Maybe just get right into the episode here. We have decided...
Before you do, I vaguely remembered receiving an email this past week.
I was worried our intro would be only 5 minutes.
Wait, that was 5 minutes, all of that?
Oh, no, it's been 5 minutes since I've been recording, so actually less than 5 minutes.
It's actually only been 3 minutes. That's a very quick intro. Not to worry, though.
Good thing.
Not 1, but 2 emails. That's easily another 20 minutes of content.
All right, let's do it.
So both of these emails come from Cephalopod Master. Thanks again, Cephalopod Master. To all the rest of you, I am incredibly disappointed that either you didn't email us during the perfectly good moment of silence I gave you last week, or maybe just nobody listened to episode 41, in which case there's literally only one other person that knows the greatest idea we've ever had. And
that is a tragedy.
That's a tragedy.
The idea must be shared.
Even worse than not getting emails from people is just the mere fact that nobody knows of our sheer brilliance.
Let me say this. I just went on YouTube and our episode 41 has 11 views.
That's incredible.
So,
speaking of YouTube, actually, I was going to bring this up a couple of weeks ago. And I'm glad I didn't, because now there's a whole story to it. So I'm
Excellent.
going to our channel. If I take a look at our channel, oh, this is a new development even this week. So I am pleased to announce that we have 20 subscribers.
Oh my goodness.
And if you remember, that's the target we gave ourselves realistically for like the entire next year.
That is the target that I said. So question, I don't remember. Did I say 20 that's not us or 20 total?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't quite remember.
I think I
we were
probably
just talking in
said
terms of total at that point.
Yeah, I don't remember. So if you remember, or you're just not too lazy to listen back to that
just
episode,
go back to the episode. It's
email
episode
us.
31, by the way. It's very easy to remember because that was our review of the whole podcast. So,
Right. So
there you go.
if you remember what I said, or you're not too lazy to go back and listen, email us, and you can find our email on our website, which is alexandalex@joelthepodcast.io/alexandalex@joelthepodcast.website. So please do send us an email. We love hearing from you, and shame on you if you don't. So, all right. But either way, this is clearly a monumental moment in podcast history.
Absolutely monumental. As long as it stands. So like I said, I was going to bring this up a couple of weeks ago, because a couple of weeks ago I noticed that we actually had 21 subscribers.
Oh my goodness!
And then between then and now, at some point I checked and we had 19 subscribers.
So some people are unsubscribing.
This number is clearly in flux. So as of this recording, we have 20 subscribers. If we don't have 20 subscribers, if we have fewer than 20 subscribers, send us an email, and also please subscribe so that we can get back.
Yeah, if you're not already subscribed.
If you're not already subscribed. If you are already subscribed, find somebody who isn't and introduce them to the podcast.
You know what's kind of funny? For some I don't know, I guess there's no real basis for this, but I always thought of us as not like asking for followers or subscribers or anything like a normal YouTubers, but we really just ask for it all the time.
I mean, we are very insistent on this whole email thing. I listened back to our last episode, and I was cringing a little bit at how hard we were pushing for the email in the beginning there. That was pretty intense. So,
like camping.
Yeah. So if you're not emailing us,
do you have emotions? You must feel sorry for us, right?
You must. It's super clear how desperate we are based on how much time we spend in each and every podcast begging for emails. And I just want to take this moment to reiterate how grateful we are to Cephalopod Master for... Was that a yawn?
Absolutely not.
That's just the strangest way I've seen anybody yawn.
Kind of relevant, actually. Yesterday I watched the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Terry's tired and he doesn't want to go home, and he stifles the yawn. It's even funnier than what I just did. He's like,
yeah. So it's unfortunate that the listeners won't be able to witness what Alex just did, but
I did not open my mouth.
Right.
I tried to refrain from opening my mouth so as not to disrupt the podcast, but I guess I failed on that front.
You fool. You thought I wouldn't grasp at anything possible to extend this intro for another minute or two. All right.
So let's read the emails, which was what we set out to do 5 minutes ago.
Let's get back to the emails. So, wait a minute. This is very strange. I'm going to come back to this.
What if you just said wait a minute and then neither of us talked for an entire minute?
That's an excellent joke. maybe someday organically that will happen on the podcast, and will be
Yeah,
the
now that I've
second
mentioned
greatest
it,
moment of podcast
maybe you
history.
can, maybe you can, remember next time.
Right.
All right. So
All right.
come back to that other thing and read an email.
All right. So to us from Cephalopod Master, this came to us on the day we released the last episode, which is awesome. He's listening to them right away. He's mixing it up, actually. The subject line of this email is, "What are the rules of the podcast?" But not to worry, the body of the email is, "I am a dumbass."
I gotta say, Cephalopod, you've had your down moments, but overall, very positive contribution to this podcast. Great job.
Yep, that's good. I think we're obligated to come up with the rules of the podcast now.
I think what you mean is we're obligated to send him the rules that we definitely already have come up with before.
Oh, that's true.
For sure.
Right. They certainly exist.
But yeah, Cephalopod, we will be sending you some rules at some point, so
yeah.
it may take a long time for us to find them.
Yeah, I just moved, so it's possible that that the file on my computer is in a different place or something. So once
That's how moving works, right?
Yes. Yeah, I moved the computer, which shook up all of the electrons inside the hard drive. So it's actually a huge problem. I had to individually put them all back where I thought they went, but I clearly didn't do a perfect job.
So let me ask you this: since I've never built a computer, do you have like a special tool for that to put the electrons back in place?
It's actually,
or do you just use your fingers?
Being as I'm an amateur, obviously the pros just use their fingers.
Right.
Like, let's be real. If you are a master computer builder, you can just pinch those little electrons wherever you want and just kind of slide them around with just your fingers. In fact, you could probably do it with just one finger and a thumb.
That's 2 fingers.
Or 2 fingers, depending on which way you view thumbs. I don't think thumbs are not fingers, by the way. So I don't want to like make it sound like.
I thought you were about to say you didn't think thumbs were fingers, and I was going to be like,
no, because that's a really controversial thing that some people think for some reason. So I'm just going on the record now.
If you think thumbs aren't fingers, email us at alexandalex@joelthepodcast@gmail.com so we can ridicule you live on air. All right.
Right.
Except not live, it's because it's all recorded, but you know what I mean.
I mean, we could live stream that. We could specifically go live on a Wednesday to do that.
Oh yeah, now we've got a YouTube channel. We could just broadcast live.
Yeah, so that's always a possibility. I don't. There's like, you can have comment things, and like people can comment as you live stream, and then you can directly respond to them. So if we had listeners, that would be kind of interesting.
If I thought anyone would watch it, I would definitely do that.
It seems like a lot of fun. So maybe. Maybe if Cephalopod Master and some of his friends that could be bothered to do that. So I say some of his friends, but they're also our friends.
Right, and I want to say, if Cephalopod himself just wants to do that, he can just come on our podcast. Just come on our podcast, Cephalopod. We have said before, we'd be happy to have you. So
yeah, literally whatever. That's fine.
All right. So I forgot what we were talking about.
We were discussing how I am not capable of using just my fingers to move the electrons around on my hard
so
drive.
what tool did you use?
Unfortunately, I rely on my set of many tweezers, which I hold between each of my fingers and use those as kind of a.
That seems much more precise. I can see why you would do that.
Right.
I thought you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say that each tweezer holds the tweezer, like the next tweezer.
Next time I move, I'll have to try that out. That does seem like it might be a more effective way of doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right.
thanks for that email. We will send you
We
the rules as soon as we
find them.
find them.
As soon as the electrons are rearranged properly. And if you think about it, creating the rules is just rearranging electrons.
Not that we have to create the rules. Like, they
Right,
were already
obviously,
made, but
since we've already created them. But I mean, like, theoretically, if we were to create, still needed to create them, it would be...
yeah, you're totally right, and we would in no way be in the wrong here if we had to create them from scratch.
Right,
Which
not that we do. Yeah, we don't.
definitely
So,
don't, obviously.
right.
But if we
all right.
did, like, you couldn't be mad at this. It's fine.
Just read the next email.
The next email is the subject line is "I'm a dumbass." Getting back to the basics here, I like it. Cephalopod Master says, "I've been to a hospital." That's one thing. Send Nathan 50 cents. That's another thing.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah, just go for that.
Those are the only things?
No, there's more.
Oh,
He
okay.
says,
Yep.
I think you guys should host this competition of random skills once a year at a fixed day and bring in everyone you can convince to participate. Just broadcast it as a series on the podcast, and if it takes off, you guys will make a lot of money from YouTube ads. You can spend the money to keep growing the scale of the competition until it becomes a national thing. Also, I want to point out that the logistics become significantly easier if you just tell people what the competition will be like a week ahead for the first few rounds. That way you don't have to worry about secrecy. If they can't win after a week of practice, they weren't going to win without practice. That's actually a really good idea, I think. It makes it a lot easier if you can just tell people a week in advance.
Okay, sorry. I'm sending you 50 cents. You're going to have to summarize that idea again for me.
Oh, no. All right.
Or just read it again.
I'm just going to read it again. So if you already
Sorry
listened,
to all our
unlike
listeners
Alex,
that have to hear this again.
Actually, you know what? To all of our listeners who listened the first time, you can take this next reading to go ahead and also Venmo me 50 cents if you'd like. Just
Yeah,
for fun.
or just email us.
Or email us. That's another. This instead of our moment of silence, I'm going to read this email again. So that you
All
have
right,
to
sounds good.
think about emails for longer, and hopefully that guilts you into emailing us. I think you guys should host this competition of random skills once a year at a fixed day and bring in everyone you can convince to participate. Just broadcast it as a series on the podcast, and if it takes off, you guys will make a lot of money from YouTube ads. And you can spend the money to keep growing the scale of the competition until it becomes a national thing. Also, I want to point out the logistics become significantly easier if you just tell people what the competition will be like a week ahead for the first few rounds. That way you don't have to worry about secrecy. If they can't win after a week of practice, they weren't going to win without practice.
So okay. First of all, I actually like the idea of hosting this. Realistically, how many people do you think we could get to participate in this?
I think we could get, like, between us, 5 to 10 people to participate.
All right, now I'm seriously considering this.
Okay, here I want to do this. I really like this idea. I think it would be super cool if we could make it happen somehow. So, based on this email, I pledge that any money we make from this podcast, my portion of it, I mean, like, we'll split it up, whatever, you can do whatever you want, but my half will go towards making this competition real.
I actually think we could produce this competition for no money.
I think we could. I just want to say that if we ever do get money, which I think is highly unlikely, aside from the fact that we get $1 a month currently from Patreon, except it's a little bit less than that.
Right, minus Patreon's cut.
Right.
All right, so I agree. Let's put it on the back burner, but say we are going to do this at some point.
Yes. So, obviously, things are a little bit tough right now as far as getting people together and doing competitions. So we will use this time of quarantine to plan and hopefully within the next year, at some point, we will have some means of bringing this into reality on a
All
very
right.
small scale.
Right. Let me say this next. He suggested announcing the events 1 week in advance
Yeah,
so that people could practice.
I think that's a really good idea.
I actually disagree.
Okay.
So, first of all, if we're talking about the scale that we're talking about doing it, secrecy is not an issue, right? No one's going to care what the games are, and no one's
Yeah.
going to practice them.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about on the scale that we were originally talking about, the games must be prepared way more than 1 week in advance. So it really doesn't help you to be able to announce it a week earlier than you would otherwise. There's still a lot of work you need to put into secrecy. And the second thing is, I kind of like the idea of no one being able to practice. Like, if I told you that one of the games was chess, you could spend an entire day learning legitimate chess strategies. But
Yeah.
if you don't find up until you get there, you're just doing your best playing chess, which I think is kind of more the point of the competition. So,
Okay, I also agree with that. I'm not entirely abandoning the idea of just saying, like, all right, we just wrapped up this week's competition, and remember, everybody, next week's competition is going to be poker.
right.
But I don't. Yeah, it is super interesting just to get a bunch of people to show up, having no clue what to expect, and just making them all do something.
It's a bouncy house obstacle course.
Maybe it is. Who knows?
All right. So
I think you can safely rule out Bouncy House Obstacle Course for our first iteration of this competition, unless our Patreon donations
really
pick
takes off.
Yeah,
And we can somehow get all the contestants into one place. All right.
right. So,
Great. All right.
Excellent.
So
I like where this is going. That
good
is
suggestion,
our emails
Cephalopod.
for the week. Yeah, thanks for your input. I hope you will consider being one of our contestants.
yeah, I really hope he will consider that because
Because we don't have many other options.
exactly.
All
So, great. So, okay, that is that. So, shall we get started on the episode now?
Wait, I've got to go back to that other thing. I said.
That other thing that you said you would come back to. Right. Let's hear it. We wouldn't want to end the intro too early.
So, we have another person who seems to be actually listening to our podcast.
Excellent.
There
Is it you?
It's not me. It's somebody called Means of Production.
Interesting.
I feel like it's maybe somebody we know, but I don't know who it is.
It's gotta be, right? We can't get our hopes up like last time.
Yeah. So the name jumped out at me because I remember on our commercial, this person commented, "Wow," which I felt was an appropriate reaction.
That is an excellent reaction, I agree.
But if you hold on, I need to mute my computer so this doesn't just start playing super loud on the podcast. I've got to go to our actual video. Here we go. So if you go to
Yeah, I see it.
episode 41, they've got a
Oh.
timestamp at minute 42, which I assume is where where we're talking about the drawing the Scrabble tile names based on the content of this comment. It says, "You won't see people get named Stranger Things because then the Duffer Brothers will sue their parents." Do you know who the Duffer Brothers are?
I don't. Did you look it up?
I am currently looking it up.
I'm looking it up faster.
Matt Duffer and Ross Duffer, both born on February 15th, 1984. Happy birthday, Matt and Ross.
They're,
Um,
what?
Known professionally as the Duffer Brothers, are American film and television writers, directors, and producers. They created and serve as the executive producers The Netflix
Stranger
science
Things.
fiction horror series Strange. Oh, okay.
So
they're
I
the
see what
Stranger
you're
Things. It's a joke.
right. They're
Uh,
taking what we said literally instead of like obviously we meant getting named stranger names than our people are currently named, not literally the words Stranger Things, which is what this person was implying. And I'm
So
glad
in
that I've now
hindsight-
explained that their joke, so it's much more funny.
in hindsight, this is a very good joke. But since I didn't know who the Duffer Brothers were and had to look them up, it was entirely lost on me. And now that I know, it's not like, it's not funny in hindsight. It would have been
By the way,
funny.
for the record, I think you could probably name your kid Stranger Things without getting sued. I don't think you can sue someone for that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right. Anyway, means of production. We'd love to have you comment on our videos, but even better, send us an email. We'd love to hear from you and especially maybe find out who you are, especially if we don't know you. That would be
Yeah.
even better, but I'm not holding out hope for that.
Nope. All right, that's all.
Also, a third person commented on our commercial. I don't know if you... I went to look at the commercial when you said means of production had commented on our commercial.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, you replied to them.
Oh, I see.
I like the reply. I'm liking that.
Thanks. The other that comment is from someone we know,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes. I mean, obvious to us, not to maybe everyone who listens to the podcast.
Well, probably.
All right. So great. So, all right. Is there anything else before we get to the actual episode now?
No, I think we are ready to go.
All right. Excellent. So, I don't remember if we said this last week or not, but what we're planning on doing today is the Newlywed Game. So for those of you who don't know, the Newlywed Game is a game originally intended for couples who are, presumably newlywed to play. And basically, each person has to, so they'll ask questions, and one person has to answer what they think the other person's answer to the question is. So it might say, what is Nathan's favorite food? And I would write down what I think Nathan's favorite food is, and Nathan will write down what his actual favorite food is, and then we would compare to see if we, we're both, if I got it right. And then we would do the reverse for me. So that's the idea. It's a pretty simple idea. But as you probably know, Nathan and I are not newlyweds, nor are we in a romantic relationship. So a lot of the questions from the original Newlywed Game don't really apply. So we've just kind of been perusing the internet for other questions we can ask each other about ourselves. And we're gonna do that. So I've got a whiteboard here to write my answers on, and Nathan's got a little paper book, just a folded piece of paper, really.
Yep.
To write his answers
equally
on.
as good because
So,
I don't have any whiteboards with me.
right. Excuse me. Right. So, the websites don't have a lot of great questions, especially since we're trying to get questions that are not too easy or too hard for us. So you're gonna have to bear with us while we find questions.
I think we'll be able to do an okay job.
I agree. So
I also think that maybe this website that I just found is the one that you have found. So
what is the website?
Icebreakerideas.com.
That is the same website I have found.
Excellent.
So for the first question, I'm gonna give you one that I thought of, and
Okay.
not everyone will understand what this means. But here's the question. This is your answer. I'm writing what I think you're gonna write. You write the actual answer.
Okay.
Fill in the blank. Pass on a bower, blank for an hour. Wow, this marker is garbage. That's very bad.
My Sharpie wrote flawlessly, I have to say.
Well, I can just say what my answer was since I have to say it first.
That's true. I have mine written down, so I will just flip it over.
While I
For the
walk around
camera.
and try to find other writing implements.
All right.
But for those of you who don't know, this is a reference to the game Euchre, and my guess is pass on a bower, do whatever you want for an hour.
Absolutely.
And Nathan has
correct.
written do whatever you want. As you can see, we
Great
are
job.
perfectly in sync.
We're going to be amazing at this.
I honestly was 50-50 on whether you would write lose for an hour or do whatever you want for an hour, because lose for an hour is the actual saying.
Yep.
So, all right, I now have a piece of paper.
Clearly, people who say that just aren't very good at euchre. You can always just do whatever you want when you
Right.
play euchre.
Sure. All right, so that is question number 1. So I guess we should keep track of how many we're not competing, right? I guess maybe we could compete. I don't know.
Last time we competed, you won, which made me sad. So
let's not
maybe we
compete.
just don't compete.
All right, so we got 1.
You can keep score
High
at
five.
home and email us at alexandalex@joelthepodcast.github.io/alexandalex@joelthepodcast.website and let us know which one of us won. But
You can't actually email us there. You have to go there to find our email. But
Oh.
anyway,
sure,
all right, here's the next question.
good enough.
We'll do this for both. So we'll start with me answering my actual answer, you guessing for me, and then we'll do the other way around. So,
Okay.
what? I don't know, I lost the question. Here we go. What shoe size does your friend wear? All right, so
Ooh.
you have to guess what shoe size I wear while Nope, this pencil has no lead in it. All right, I can at least write on the paper with this marker.
All right.
All right.
You have your answer written down?
Yep. So what's
I'm-
your guess? What shoe size do I wear?
I'm going to guess 10.
9.
9. Oh, I was torn.
All right, and now
Okay.
I have to guess what shoe size you wear. So go ahead and write down what the size is.
All right, I've got it.
All right. Is it size 11?
It's 10.
10. All right. Why would you guess
All
your
right.
own shoe size? You know I'm smaller than you, right?
Yeah, but clearly not that much smaller, and I seemed to remember it was not very far off, if at all.
All right,
So-
fair enough. So, all right, now we don't get any points there.
All right. Bad job to both of us,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
bad job. Let's see. There's some easy and hard ones here. You seen any good ones as you scroll through? Here we go. Let's hit an easy one here.
All right.
Well, this will be easy for me, like you answering for me. I don't know, it might be harder for me answering for you if we do that.
All right.
But is there any expression or phrase that your best friend? This is a best friend website. I would not presume that we are best friends. But is there any expression or phrase that your best friend says often? Let me write down the answer, which I'm sure you know.
Oh, no. What if I don't?
Oh no, that would be really depressing. But I think if you don't know it, when I show you it, you'll be like, duh.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
problem is I am under intense pressure now to get things right, so obviously I'm not going to be able to do it.
Is this a pencil? Oh, it's a pencil. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. So you've written a thing down, and I'm going to guess. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to.
This is the thing that I say the most out of anything else.
The most out of anything else?
Should I give you a hint?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's see. What's a good hint that's not just making it too obvious?
Is it something that we say on the podcast?
Probably don't say it that much on the podcast. Um, let's say I definitely started saying this thing in college. So I didn't when we first met. I didn't say this, and I really don't know any other clue that's not just going to give it away.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult because I don't remember details.
Right. All right. Just do
like
your
that.
best.
All right. So the one thing that is sticking in my head and preventing me from thinking of anything else is something that we say not super often on the podcast, but it is "How dare you?"
Okay. Interesting guess.
It's not a terrible guess, but it's probably
It's not the
right.
correct answer. The correct answer is
Rip.
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 Rip. I was trying my hardest not to say it'd be a rip if you didn't get it.
All right.
All right. I was not going to turn it back around unless you have something in mind that you say a lot.
I mean, nothing really comes to mind for me.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
That might be kind of challenging for me. All right, this is a good one. I think we'll be able to come up with the same answer for me.
All right.
So you are going to guess what is my favorite food?
Okay, yeah. Write it down, but I already know what I'm going to say.
The problem is I know what you're going to say too, so I'm not sure if I should just write that thing down so that we're right.
Write down what your actual favorite food is.
I'm just going to write that down because it's pretty much my favorite food. So
all right, well, how about that? Pizza.
There we go. I sort of showed it to you beforehand, but
well,
yes,
you knew what I was going to say.
That is in fact what I wrote. Good job. I feel that was a fairly easy one.
Yep. Do you want to try and turn it around? I doubt you actually know what my favorite food is.
Yeah, I really don't know. So I'm just gonna.
I'll give you a hint. All right. It's a dessert.
Okay.
Let me write it down.
Oh wait, I don't have to write it down. I can just say. All right, let me know what you're ready. I am absolutely certain what I'm going to say. I just don't know if it's correct.
All right, I'm ready.
Ice cream.
Oh, you're almost close enough for me to say correct, but the answer is ice cream cake.
Cake. Ooh. That is definitely an improvement on ice cream.
Agreed. Yeah. So, all right. So that's like half a point.
All right. I'll take it.
So we're at so I got pizza. You got half point on that. So we're at 2.5 now. I think we're at 2.5 now.
Yeah. Good.
So all right. So let's keep looking here. All right. So as you know, you and I have many references and inside jokes that we like to say.
Yep.
What is your favorite inside joke? Write it down and I'll try to guess what your favorite inside joke between us is / reference.
Okay.
And if it's like a longer quote or something, you can just write down enough that we both understand what it is.
Right. Oh man, I need to. Maybe this is giving it away a little bit, but I need to look something up real quick just to make sure.
All right. Quoting it correctly?
Yeah. So
my guess, I'll just tell you right now, my guess is the same as what my actual favorite is. So if I'm right, then we'll both actually have the same favorite. And I'm going to give myself, well, we'll talk about that after.
Okay, this is kind of obscure, but I think genuinely this is one of my favorites.
All right.
And I'd be a little surprised if you guessed this one, but okay.
All
I'm
right, I'm
ready.
not going to guess it then. But
All right.
my guess is on 3. Let's both say the worst thing about aprons. 1, 2, 3. They're too
Nothing.
gray.
Okay, that
That
is a
is my
very good
favorite.
one.
Thank you.
That's really good. Yeah, that's got to be up there. I had to
Let me
look
hear-
this up because this was and honestly, I didn't really need to look this up after I realized what I should have just written down. This is an inside joke that has recurred a couple of times on the podcast. Oh no, my phone might die in the middle of this. This is gonna be
Yeah, your mic just got a lot louder.
okay. Let's pause the podcast right here so that I can.
Should I actually pause my
no.
recording, or do you want to edit it out?
No, I'll just edit this.
Okay,
That way I can take the same size chunk out of the middle of both of them. It'll be fine.
makes sense.
But I'm actually not really sure what to do because I need to have the headphones in so my microphone doesn't pick you up.
Oh,
But I
right,
also need-
because your phone sucks and doesn't have a headphone jack.
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
We're right in that awkward spot between wireless charging and your phone doesn't have a headphone jack.
Yeah. I've been. Oh, I know what I'll do.
Do you have wireless headphones?
I do, but I think we've tried them before and they're not great.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go grab another device that I can use Skype on.
Oh, I see.
In fact,
That
I
makes
could
sense.
just use my laptop, which is right here. Directly. Maybe this should just be the standard. I don't know, because the phone potentially always has this problem. Or else maybe I can just charge my phone beforehand. All right, so I'm going to hang up, I guess, and you should call me back in a minute here once I've got Skype pulled up on my laptop so I can answer it. Okay, I'll be ready whenever you are. All right, how's this?
Ah, different view. But, I can still see and hear you just fine. So.
All right, perfect.
That's
Let's continue. I think
All right.
I think I was about to reveal.
Yeah, I've been in suspense for so long, I need to hear what the reference is
All right.
or inside joke.
It's very hard for me to pick out any one reference because I feel like this podcast has generated
Oh,
Lots
you picked a podcast
lots of
reference.
great ones. Yes, but my favorite one, just off the top of my head, is our back and forth that the Miami Marlins are made up. They're a fake team. This has come up in several podcasts. It's just so stupid but funny to me. So
Nice.
that is my answer.
All right, good choice. All right, let's hit the next one.
All right.
Guess this about me. Oh wait. That was not actually that great. All right, let me keep scrolling here for a minute. I had one, but it's not actually that good. Oh yes. Here we go. I mentioned this before the podcast. Actually, you should be able to get this about me. What is my favorite kind of sandwich?
Ooh. All right. I've got my guess.
Let me write it down here.
I feel like it's right, especially based on your comment. Oh wait, no. I came up with a different thing, but the different thing is definitely right. You just
All right,
wrote it
here-
down?
I wrote it down.
It's peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Nailed it.
I
That
can
was
see it.
not my first instinct. My first instinct, based on your comment, was Philly cheesesteak, but then I thought about what the actual comment was, and I was like, no, it must be peanut butter and jelly.
Well done.
So, congratulations. I feel like that one deserves 2 points, honestly.
All right, let's give ourselves 2 points, and I don't even remember how many points we have, so 2 more points for us.
We have that many points plus 2.
All right, now this is when we can turn around.
All right.
Write down what your
I
favorite
have to
sandwich
pick
is.
my favorite sandwich. This is actually very easy for me as well.
Oh, it's not easy for me though. Let me think about this.
I think this is one that once it's revealed, you'll know that you knew all along.
Oh, yep, I know what it is
All right,
actually.
there we go.
All right, do you write it down?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, it's the Monte Cristo from Cheddar's.
Absolutely is.
There you go.
Congratulations. That's another. Heck, that's 2 points. Why not? We're making up the rules here.
Exactly, and the points, don't actually mean anything. So.
Actually,
right.
I scrolled all the way down to the bottom of this article, and the points do mean something.
Oh.
I assume you have to do all of the questions, but then it's results of your best friend quiz. 0 to 5 points. Rethink your relationship.
Okay, we definitely have more than that.
Yep. 5 to 20 points. Repeat and refresh, which is a weird description, but okay. 20 to 30 points. Getting to know you. 30 to 40. Almost family. 45 to 50. Best friends forever.
All right, so we're at least 4.
All right. We've got to see if we can get beyond repeat and refresh, whatever that means, because I don't like that one. Up to getting to know you. Maybe we'll crack almost family. I feel like that's a pretty big jump between getting to know you and almost family. But maybe this website doesn't consider it that way because there's a tier higher than almost family.
So I think I'm scrolling through, and I've come across the third instance of the question, have I ever had surgery? And what was it for? Like, just repeating these same things over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 3 points, I guess. If you know it once, you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know them all. All right. I think you know this about me, but it'll bring up something interesting later. So we'll go with it. Does my car have a name? If so, what is it?
See, I just scrolled past that question thinking what a joke, neither of our cars have names. But the fact that you're asking me that question implies that your car has a name.
Does it?
I mean, I don't think it does, so I'm going to say, unless you wrote it down, but no name.
All right. I wrote,
yeah, no. Okay, I'm not sure why you asked that question.
I asked
then.
that question because it allows me to bring up a more interesting story than either of ours. Because
all right.
Yeah, clearly we don't have names for our cars. It's kind of
That's
a weird
more
thing to do. But my brother, he turned 16 a year or 2 ago, however you want to count it. And he got this like $300 car that my parents bought for him to use, and they called it Beater because it was a beater.
Right.
And then I broke that car. I was driving it. I was driving his friends home in it one night with him in the car, and I had just dropped one of them off. I was still in the neighborhood, and I noticed the brakes felt kind of strange.
Uh-oh.
And luckily I was still in the neighborhood, and it was late at night, so there were no other cars on the road. What I did was I kind of coasted down to about 15 miles an hour, and then I stomped on the brake pedal, and absolutely nothing happened.
Why would you do that?
Because I didn't think the brakes were working, and I was correct.
Right. I mean, it was smart to like do that, but why would you stomp on the brakes?
Yeah, I mean,
All
maybe
right.
that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but clearly I tried to get the
right.
car to stop and it didn't.
Sure. Yep.
So like I said, luckily it was late at night, so I coasted into a nearby parking lot, coasted to a stop, and called our parents for help. But that was the end of Beater. So he got a new car.
Rip Beater.
Rip Beater. I feel bad for not getting that now. It's so obvious in hindsight. But at the time, I mean, there's so much pressure.
Right.
It's hard. So he got another car. My parents bought another car for him to use. And on the back of this car, it had the dealership sticker, like lots of cars do.
Right.
And this one came from like Benton Motors or something, Betten.
Sure.
And my parents had the excellent idea of peeling off part of the N to make it say better,
Nice.
so that he would have Beater and then
And
better. However, he didn't like that idea for some reason, so he named it
Because he's lame.
Betty instead, which is
That's worse.
It is worse. So
Bad job, Andrew.
yeah, if you're ever listening to this, Andrew, which I'd be amazed. First of all, email us, obviously. Second of all,
Bad job.
Bad job.
All right.
so that was a fun story.
That was a fun story. For some reason, I have the feeling that we've talked about this before.
All right.
So I'm curious if you have any memory of it and could answer this question about me.
All right.
What is my favorite number? I'm weird in that I have a favorite number and I feel somewhat strongly about it.
Right.
So I have it written down here.
Okay.
Let me know if you have any guesses.
All right. I do not recall this conversation, if in fact
Sure.
we did have it.
Yeah, maybe it was someone else I was talking to.
So,
but-
however, I do have something that I feel is maybe more likely than other things.
Sure.
So I'm going to guess 12.
12. Okay, that's actually a pretty good guess. It's not correct. The correct answer is 5.
Okay. Why?
Well, I mean 5. So let me preface this by saying I normally hate prime numbers.
Okay.
I hate almost every prime number above 5. Probably every prime number above 5. But 5 gives you, like, multiplying it gives you very nice numbers. Is why, and like 10 is like too round. It's like too round. It's like what even is that? But 12 is a good guess because aside from multiples of 5, I like numbers. I like square numbers, and I like numbers that can be factored a lot.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Right. So that's a good guess. And I know some people are psychopaths and actually are the opposite, where they actually like prime numbers.
Right.
Which I suspect you may be one of those people.
I mean, if I don't have a favorite
You don't
number
have a favorite?
per se.
Okay.
But I am interested. I do like prime numbers. I don't dislike prime numbers or anything like that. I also am interested in irrational numbers, which
those are the
I
worst.
take are no good in your
Right.
book.
But anyway,
I don't know if I could pick a favorite number. So, just kidding. Obviously, it's 69.
nice. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, no, never mind. Favorite relative?
All right, I'm gonna pick this one because I think I know yours. So
All right.
we'll go both ways and we'll see what happens. Maybe this will be easy. I'm not really sure.
Sure.
What is my favorite color?
What is your favorite color? I feel like I should know this. I feel like I've definitely asked you this before.
Yeah.
All right, I have a guess.
All right, I've got it
Let me
written down.
Let me write down what mine is.
Yep.
All right. So don't hold it up. It's at the bottom of the camera there. Don't hold. I said don't hold it up.
This says Monte Cristo. I'm holding up the other side. I'll flip it
okay.
when,
I see.
when I'm ready.
I see.
That's the downside with reusing this folded up piece of paper in many ways. It looks like I'm revealing things. All right. What do you got?
My guess for you. Oh no, this is definitely wrong. All right, I'm changing it. My guess for you is green.
Ooh, it's blue.
That was like my third guess. So
all right, what was your first guess?
Bad job. My first guess was yellow.
Ooh, wow. I don't know yellow, but I like green better than yellow.
Well, that's why I changed it to green.
Yeah.
But then yellow would have been my second guess.
Yeah. I think this is interesting because if you look at, obviously right now is not a good example, but most of my clothes are either like blue or something that works with blues, like black or gray or something.
Right.
So
for those of you who can't, for those of you who can't see, he's wearing a pink onesie right now.
Yeah. It's actually just what my skin looks like. I'm naked.
No, you shouldn't have told me that. I thought you were wearing a pink onesie.
All right. So.
All right. You said that you think you know mine.
I'm pretty sure I know that your favorite color is gray.
Okay. That's a good joke.
Maybe that's just a joke.
I don't know if you actually meant that is my favorite color, but that's definitely not my favorite color. Okay. But it is a good joke. My favorite color is red.
Red. Okay. So I think you've said that before. Maybe it was a joke and I didn't realize. So.
Yeah. Anytime I say anything about like things looking gray or anything like that, definitely a joke. I can see colors. So.
Well.
Except for aprons. That's a separate joke.
They're too gray.
They're too gray.
Right. All right. So clearly we're learning things. I should not have been so confident. Obviously.
Yeah. Well, it goes both ways. I didn't know yours either. So
there you go.
Yeah. Now I think it's safe to say we're best friends. Now that we know each other's favorite colors.
And in fact, because of that, let's give ourselves a bonus point. Not related to getting any of those things wrong, but just now that we're right.
Right. Agreed. All right. So +1 point for being best friends.
Yeah, we've got to be up to 15 or 16 by now, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say that's like the floor of what we're at.
All right. Very conservative estimate there.
I seriously can't believe that one of the things is favorite relative. Do people have favorite relatives?
Even if I did have a favorite relative, I wouldn't admit it on the podcast, just on the off chance that one of my family members listened to the podcast.
Okay, just write down who your favorite relative is. I'll write down who I think your favorite relative is. I'm just kidding.
In a totally not serious way, if I had to pick a favorite relative.
All right. I thought you were actually going to make a joke there, but there was nothing.
No, even
all right.
I'm even uncomfortable saying anything as a joke.
All right, let's go here. Favorite holiday. We'll go both ways, so write down your answer.
Favorite holiday. It's kind of easy for me, I think.
I don't think you're going to be able to get mine.
All right. Even though I folded up this paper a bunch, I've taken to scribbling out my previous answers.
Sure, that's fine. I'm just writing them all on one paper, so without folding it or anything.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, obviously, we're both joking. We have
whiteboards and professional newlywed game equipment.
Right.
All right.
And this is all planned. Right. We're just making it seem like we're unprepared.
All right. Make your guess. What's my favorite holiday?
All right. I'm going to say your favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow. You're right. Thanksgiving.
Excellent.
Great job.
I am very good at this. To be honest, that was just a guess. Care to give any explanation or anything?
Well, it's probably the honest, real reason is because it's right next to my birthday, probably.
That's a good. If
But I do.
if I had thought about it in depth, I may have actually come up with the same answer then, because I do know when your birthday is.
Yes. But yeah, I enjoy getting together with. I actually, unlike, I think this is the case for you, but not everyone. But I do like my family, so I do enjoy getting together with them over Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
All right, here we go. I'm guessing for you.
Yep.
Honestly, probably I'm just gonna go mainstream and select Christmas as your favorite holiday.
Absolutely.
And it says Christmas.
I'm a basic bitch. Christmas is the best holiday for pretty much those same reasons.
Plus, you get presents
to hang out with your family. You still get pretty good food, and you get presents. So
yeah, I get stressed out trying to figure out what to get for people.
Yeah, this past year was interesting because it was the first year where I both lived on my own and had a full-time job. So I considered myself like very much obligated to get everybody presents.
Right.
Not that I hadn't done so in the past, but like in the past it was reasonable if a present had to be like, $10 or something, because I just didn't have very much money. But at least in my family, when we, on both sides of my extended family, everybody draws somebody else's name and gets them a present. That way you don't have to get like 20 presents on both sides or whatever.
Smart.
And kind of the goal is like get something that is around $50 or something like on that order of magnitude, so everybody's kind of,
right
on the same page. So yeah, I did it all on my own, did it kind of properly. Felt very different from past Christmases.
Well done. All right, so great. Let's see what other questions there are.
Yeah, that was a fun story.
Here's a good one.
All right.
I actually have no idea what yours is, but I might have some guesses. But favorite ice cream flavor.
Favorite ice cream flavor. All right.
Again, we'll go both ways.
All right. I'll tell you up front. I'm gonna be very specific, but I will accept like a broader range of.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right up front. I'm not gonna know the very specific one that you're.
Obviously not, but.
I'm curious if you think you know what mine is, because.
All right.
I don't know. I'm curious if you think you know.
I don't think I know, but I think I have a decent guess.
Sure.
And I don't think it's going to be right. I think there's something else, but I just don't know what it is.
All right.
So I'm going to guess vanilla.
Okay, you are not correct.
Okay.
The correct answer is mint chocolate chip.
Interesting.
All right, and for you,
there you go.
Yeah, there's no real story behind that. Otherwise, than that, it's the best flavor. But let me see. So, for you, yeah, obviously I'm just guessing again here, but I'm gonna guess Rocky Road. No. No, that's a bad guess. I do not guess that. All right, it's got to be something with chocolate in it, obviously. So let's go with like Moose Tracks. That's a bad guess too. All right, let me just say it. I already wasted 2 guesses.
All right, my favorite flavor of ice cream is called Fudgy Brownie. Which, I mean, you're obviously on the right track with the chocolate. I have yet to eat anything that is too chocolatey for my liking.
Yeah, I figured.
If anyone would like to email me something to try that might test that theory, I wholeheartedly welcome it. But yeah, I knew you were never going to get this one. This is a flavor of ice cream at Kilwins.
Okay, yep.
Which I don't know how familiar you are with Kilwins, but there's one in my.
I've been there.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We went to the one in your hometown, and
yes,
we went to the one in Gatlinburg.
Ah, yeah, we did. In one or both places, I almost certainly got this flavor of ice cream, but I don't know why you would have remembered that. So
yeah, I obviously didn't. So
all right,
all right,
interesting.
And Yeah, interesting. Also, by the way, in both of those places, I almost certainly got mint chocolate chips. So,
All right, I saw two good ones that I want to ask now.
all right, let's hit it.
So this one we discussed before the podcast. Does your best friend believe in aliens? Which obviously we discussed this on a previous episode since we discussed aliens.
Yep.
What we didn't say before the podcast was that the question also asked about ghosts.
Correct.
So
let me ask you this: what does it mean by ghosts?
I guess write down an answer that you can explain, and then
All right. Yeah, I think
we'll see what happens.
All right.
All right. So for you, even though you asked that, I'm going to go with my initial guess, which is no.
No.
No. All right. And for me,
And I'm almost certain. Well, I guess I'd look like an ass if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say no as well.
no.
No. All right.
All right. So unlike aliens, ghosts are fictional.
Agreed.
In my opinion. All right. And the second one is, can your best friend skip rope and hula hoop?
All right.
So that we'll
Let's
treat
see.
those as one question, but do answer both of them
Sure. Can you hear that?
a little bit. I
Okay.
had no idea what it was. It was just kind of
All right. There's no need to discuss it.
All right. Okay.
I wonder if it'll be audible on the podcast. Let me. Oh, I'm supposed to be writing my answers, so I don't even look at you. I was just trying to think about what your answers would be. All right.
Yep.
So there's two answers, one for
Yep.
jumping rope and the other for hula hooping.
Yep.
All right. So I'm guessing for you, you can jump rope and you can hula hoop. Those are my guesses.
I think I agree.
Question
with you.
mark.
Yes, question. So, I mean, almost certainly yes. However, I haven't tried in a very long time, and I'm also less good at jumping than I used to be.
That's knees are necessary for jumping.
So, I'm pretty sure, I'm still reasonably fit and capable.
Yep.
If I tried
Alright, what
it,
do
it
you
would
think I
probably
wrote?
work. I think you also wrote yes and yes.
Well, you would be wrong. I wrote yes and no.
Ooh, you can't hula hoop.
I cannot hula hoop.
Interesting.
It's actually really sad. I definitely used to be able to hula hoop, but the last few times I've tried, I just can't do
You
it.
can
So
no longer hula hoop.
Yeah.
It would be mildly funny to attempt to jump rope and hula hoop on the podcast, except it wouldn't be any good for the listeners because there would be no video of our attempts.
right.
Maybe
wonder
we
if
could
there's
post that separately. If you want to see us try and jump rope and hula hoop, first of all, obviously the thing to do would be to email us. But secondly, I don't own a jump rope or a hula hoop, so it might be a little bit difficult for me to try and. I could use like a cable as a stand-in for a jump rope.
Definitely thought we had a hula hoop here, but may no longer have one.
Might be a little trickier. I don't know. Maybe I could create something. Maybe I could 3D print a hula hoop in like 40 pieces.
You could probably 3D print jump rope by just like printing chain links or something.
Oh, that's totally true. That would be much easier, actually. You could probably print in place a chain. Assuming you could twist it around in your print bed, or get one of those printers where the y-axis is actually tilted at a 45, and I got that backwards. The x-axis is tilted at a. Nope, I don't know. It's the z-axis. Okay, yes, definitely the z-axis is tilted at a 45, and the x-axis rides along still horizontal as you'd expect on that.
Right.
But the y-axis is a treadmill instead of a plate that scoots back and forth. So you can just keep treadmilling, and because of the angle, you can kind of print up at an angle, and it can just keep getting as long as you'd like.
Right.
So you could just print a long line of chain that way. If you were able to follow along with that over audio, congratulations. Otherwise, just, yeah. Sorry.
All right. Let's do one more here.
All
right. Let's see. What's a good last one to do? Okay. Here's one I think we'll both get, and I think we'll both have the same answer.
Okay.
So we'll look like real best friends for this question. And I'm going to modify the question a little bit.
Good. Okay.
So the question is, what can your best friend cook? And I'm going to modify that to be, what is the best thing your best friend can cook? Actually, we don't have the same answers. I know what your answer is, or at least what my opinion of your answer is. Let's see, what's the best thing I can cook? Oh man, you might not know, because I've never cooked around you. You can probably make a guess, though. I feel like we've talked about this before. What's my real answer? What's the best thing that I can cook? All right. I've got mine written down. How about you?
Yep, I do as well.
All right. What do you think I can cook the best?
All right. I'm going to say pasta. Hopefully that's not too broad. Yeah, I definitely heard that.
Yeah. No, the answer is not pasta, although it is somewhat related. The answer is macaroni and cheese.
That was actually my second guess. If you were going to make me pick a pasta, it would have been that.
Well, count that as a point then.
All right, easily a point.
And then for you, I really hope that you wrote this down, because this is definitely the correct answer. The answer is steak, and if you must be more specific, Brazilian steak.
Yep. In fact, I wrote down Brazilian steak. Like I mentioned, I now live in an apartment where I can have a grill out on my porch. So I'm going to buy a grill. Very excited to make myself some Brazilian steak. I haven't had any in over a year.
Nice.
It's very very exciting.
At some point when we are out of quarantine, I'm definitely coming to visit you, and I'm definitely expecting steak.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, that's if anyone comes to visit me now, it's fair to expect me to make you steak, provided that you warn me in advance or bring the meat yourself. Those are the two rules.
Do you have a grill already?
I do not, but I plan to buy a relatively cheap one fairly soon.
Nice.
Like a charcoal grill.
Sure. All right. Well, that's our episode, everyone. Thanks for listening. We gotta come up with an Olive Garden quote.
Yep, I'm. Unless you have anything that you were particularly inspired by in this week's episode, I have yet another AI-generated quote.
Let's hear it.
This one. So I clicked through until I found a particularly good / bad one, and it is: "You cannot and must not allow schools to control your orgasms here in the middle of this Olive Garden."
Anywhere else, though, it's fine.
Anywhere else. I mean, that's the education system is for, let's be honest. But in this Olive Garden, stay away from me.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. As we said, please email us. I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
And this has been
Joel.
Joel.